Hi guys, we're going to take this Super Sculpey firm gray. I don't have a full block, but it will be enough. I will make it in slices. The thinner you make it, better, because then you're gonna use the rolling machine for doing pasta. We're gonna make this much thinner, like little sheets of clay, and then this will be cut. You see that this is a rolling machine for doing pasta. You can find this in Amazon for sure. It has like different positions, so you can open the hole and make it bigger or smaller, so you can introduce the clay on it. Obviously, it will be much more comfortable if I can place it and fix it to the table, but this is the only way I can show you with the with the camera. Sorry for that. Probably you have seen that there are like two different formats of Super Sculpey film. One is like divided in different, like in little tubes, and there is one like this one who is like a full block. I sincerely prefer the one that comes not divided because it's much easier. So it's better if you cut yourself the slices in order to fit them well inside of the hole. And then this is what you achieve basically. If you can make it even thinner, that will be much better. Something like this. It's almost like a cardboard sheet. And then this is much easier to work with it. And all of these that I have there, that is the result of breaking all the clay. I know that this is boring, it's a born and bothering process, but I do this once every 6 months, and then I have a full block, maybe 1-2 kilos of clay prepared. The truth is that you have to keep it refrigerated if you can. If you have a fridge where you can place this inside of a pot, that will be much easier. Indeed, myself, I have it in a fridge, because if you live in a place where the weather changes a lot, or the temperatures can rise up or go down very easily, it can affect the clay somehow. It can dry it or make it more like crackly. I don't know if I can say more fragile. So you see that I'm compacting the clay. So at the end I will have a very thin sheet like this, many sheets like this. It's the same process with any Super Sculpey film gray. So we're gonna do this in slices, all the Super Sculpey, and make it the thinner we can. And once it's already compacted, some parts will be more regular than others, but the idea is that this will be the last stage for this part of the process. And well, it could be even like a banner. And I prefer to show you this even if it could be a little bit boring, because I'm sick of seeing all those processes, especially in Instagram, where you see 1, 2, 3 done. Like if it was magic, and it's not magic. There is a strong hard process. Sometimes it's slow, and that's it. So it will not. I wouldn't be honest if I show you 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps, and done. I prefer to show you the failure and show you all the intermediate stages where I feel uncomfortable, or where you can find yourself the same as me. So look at this. This is crap basically. This one's has been destroyed, not regularly. So sometimes they break, especially if they're a little bit dry. And this what I have in my hand. It's a slice that is much better done. So what I will do with this scrap basically is to compact it again and then do sheets. So it can take hours to do that. I used to spend maybe 2-3 hours doing this, but as I told you already, it's once a year or once every 6 months. It depends on how much you sculpt. But I prefer to do this once, having a little bit of patience, and then I have the clay ready for work. So, guys, after 1 hour and a half or 2 hours, I have everything prepared in small slices. So that's the idea. You see, it's very flexible because it has not been dehydrated, or let's say the oil that has on it has not been removed. So check how are the properties right now. It's flexible and it has this kind of plastic feeling. And now I will place all these slices inside of 2 papers to absorb the oil, and I will put it inside of a very big book. In this case, we're going to use The Art of Blizzard. the paper I will use is to protect the book. Obviously, I love books. But with this is enough protection. I promise it will not affect the pages of the book. Well, if you use 2, then you will be sure that it won't break it will not ruin the book. So you do that. We're gonna do this with all the little parts of compacted Super Sculpey film gray. Then we close the book. And then we will place heavy stuff on top to compact it, and we will leave this for like 3-4 days. It depends on the temperature of where you live. You can leave it like a week. For example, when I was living in Nottingham working for Portugal, I used to leave it for 10 days because there it's cold and it's also very humid, so it takes more time. So it has passed a week, fake, but a week. And now imagine that we have take out the slices of clay from the book. And now it's more like it's super flat, and it is dehydrated from the oil that has inside. So this is what you will get, something like this. You see that the oil has been absorbed by the paper. And now, well, this should be dry, obviously, but I have faked it, to avoid waiting for a week. But I'm just showing you how this works, okay? So this will be completely dry. And you will see that the slice will be more easy to crack, you see, like this one. You see that there's not flexibility anymore, it breaks. So that means that the oil is not inside of it anymore. So it's very dry. And now we have to rehydrate again with turpentine. That will be the key. But before doing that, we have to chop it in pieces, like doing tagliatelle or something like this. So trimming it in slices like this, like spaghetti or tagliatelle. That's the idea. Now I have it. I'm gonna do everything, and then when I finish, I will show you the next step. So when everything is scrambled, we will use a pot. We're gonna introduce all the spaghetti inside. Remember to use gloves because turpentine is not the most healthy thing in the world. And then we're gonna we're gonna fill with turpentine just with one finger, more or less. Like 2 centimeters, 3 centimeters, no more. So the idea that they're a spaghetti shape, it helps to introduce the turpentine inside and to create a more, a full clay full of this liquid, right? And now it became like this. It's not liquid, but almost. It's like dental toothpaste. If you see that the turpentine is still not introducing everywhere, you can break it. Take care with the smell, because turpentine is very aggressive and affects you the nose. Indeed, I tell you by my own experience, I almost don't smell anything. So that will be like the result. If you have more spaghetti, it will become like a big ball. If you really fulfill the glass pot, and I recommend you glass because it won't be affected by turpentine or anything else. And this is the result right now. You see, it's almost liquid. You know, it's like a mucus or something like this. And with this, it's already ready. But now we're gonna separate it in different pots, and separate the full clay in different pots, and we will leave it open for different hours. So the more you leave it open, more it will evaporate and more it will be dried. So you will have different stages of the clay, from a clay like this that is almost like toothpaste, then something like that is sticky but is more evaporated, so it's more solid, it has more heavy body. Then this one has been more exposed to air, so now I can even touch it with the hands. It's still sticky, but not so much, and it's not so slimy. So I can generate intermediate stage also. Imagine that I take this sheet that has not been prepared, and I add the more pasty, more slimy clay, and then I mix it, and the result is something that has the sticky feeling of one, but not so much, and also the flexibility of the other, but not so much. So you can decide in which stage you want the clay exactly. So you can measure the properties of the clay to your own taste or to your own way of sculpt. So this, for example, is a sheet of Super Sculpey without being treated, without being like original, and you will see how it works. So you can apply directly. It's not so sticky. I repeat, this is the original Super Sculpey firm gray without doing anything. It has better consistency, more body. And then you have this one, that this is dry. You see, it crumbles, that you can use for anything that imagine that a building that has fall off from a bomb. You can do something like this, or something that has something to do with this aspect, basically. So with the same clay, I can achieve many different stages that can represent many different elements, or can give me ideas of how to reproduce different elements while sculpting. So that one I have in my hands is the original one, just that has passed through the rolling machine. This one that has the turpentine recently added. That one that is a little bit more evaporated, and this one that is starting to be more like gummy. This is the way I do. Is a way that I have already said many times. I learned from Edgar Komorowski, Degra, one of the greatest sculptors I have met in my career. It was a master for me, showing me techniques and procedures. I learned this in Portugal, and to me it's very comfortable to work like this. I hope this has been useful for you. Tell me what about the experience, because the good thing about this is that you can decide how will you use this clay, basically, which is the good point of that. Imagine I will show you a process so you can see how you can apply this kind of clay treated in this way. This is how I start. This is a miniature I designed and sculpted for Skill 75 and painted as well. I did everything, basically. And then I place the volumes with green stuff. It's like a mannequin. Then I add the clay like dental toothpaste stage. You can see that. Like I can apply this with brush directly. You see the feeling of it. It's more like super slimy, almost like mucus. And then with a metallic tool covered with water, like humidified, you can see how polished it can be, and this is literally 2 minutes. And then more applications, more addings. Well, guys, I hope this has been useful for you. Please try it, and then you tell me if you find comfortable with this. Maybe it's not your clay. Maybe it's not your way of using this clay. Maybe yes. I'm focused on showing you the more resources I can. And well, Happy New Year, guys. Thank you for watching. And please give us some feedback in the comment box. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.